Hello and welcome to the Car Sim and Race Driver Show. With me, Hugh Hattrick, and my very special co-host, it is Andrew Marr.
Hello, everybody.
It's good to see you all. Now, if you've just been watching, we've just literally finished another live stream on the PS4 on Gran Turismo, and I know we had a few people watching. So if you're coming over from that, very welcome to you. You can see that this is our little mini studio, and we're doing it live on StreamYard. And we have Andrew Marr, of course, with us just now. We also have Jonathan Sutherland, who makes guest appearances here and there. But there's been lots happening over the last few days. In fact, yesterday, I was watching a 12-hour race from Silverstone. It was a charity race involving Josh Martin, who's been on the show a few times. And it was, I don't know if you saw any of it. I did share it out a little bit on my Facebook as well a few times. But it was a great race. They came from something like 28th up to 8th in 8th position at the end, and there was about 40 odd cars in the race. So they actually did it really well, and I was quite impressed because there was about 4 of them, I think, or 3 or 4 of them in the team. And if anyone wasn't performing, they were totally motivational. I was really impressed. They were like, if someone did a bad lap or a couple of bad corners or thought they weren't going as fast as they could be, they were saying, come on, just keep going. And it was really good. It was kind of good to see that they weren't undermining each other. They were actually working as a very good team.
Oh, well, that's
excellent. To do the best they can. I was really, I knew it would be good, don't get me wrong, because these guys are professionals. But what was really encouraging was just how nice they were and how really kind of, it was a real gel to the team. So when they almost got 7th, it was that close at the end. There were about 3-4 places changed in the last couple of laps.
Out of 40, 7th out of 40.
So they were up to about 11th, and then in the last 4 or 5 laps it changed, and they went up to 8th, and then very, very nearly got 7th. So it was a really close race, and Jenson Button was in that race as well.
Oh, was he?
And he wasn't that far up the road. To be fair, they were not that far up the road. So it was a big event, a charity for Huntington disease, I think it was. That they were doing that for.
Were they driving more like the pros do, with keeping on the track and not cheating, basically, like we saw the non-pro races with the virtual F1?
ACC's much more competitive, and it's much harsher as well. I've done it before. I know I was at Monza and it was hilarious. I could not get a dry lap. It was dry. I could not keep my car on the road for a lap.
Oh, a clean lap. You couldn't get a clean lap.
It's terrible, yeah. And I bounced over the curbs, and it just throws the car, and it sounds terrible, and it really shakes the wheel. So it doesn't. You can't do it.
Oh, excellent. Which, like real life.
Yeah, and that's not even on a sausage curb. That's just even on any curb. You really have to be really careful.
They're serrated, aren't they? They're not actually that nice to the cars at all, are they?
No.
Well, I was just thinking that lends credence to your theory of why the likes of Button and Anthony Davidson and all them lot weren't doing as well in the virtual F1 is because they were not cheating. They were driving like proper racing drivers and staying on the track. So if he did better in this ACC race where they all were behaving properly, that makes sense, doesn't it? So it's just interesting.
I'm just going to quickly put this up on here. If you're watching on Facebook, which I know we've got some viewers on just now, we can't see your comments. For whatever reason, it doesn't actually come through to YouTube here and let us see what's happening. So if you like the show, that's fantastic. Give us a wee like, that would be brilliant. And of course, you can always subscribe on our YouTube channel as well. But we thought we'd go through some of the F1 headlines that have been happening this week. Did you like my new logo, by the way? Did you like my new little thumbnail that I've put on? I kind of used I kind of incorporated a bit of the F1 logo.
Who, and how? What we're talking about?
It was on YouTube. It was on. It's our thumbnail.
I haven't seen it on YouTube. Well, I'm not watching on YouTube, am I? I'm watching. We're recording.
Well, of course, you're watching on the live stream. Yeah,
I can put YouTube on. If you want.
It should hopefully be working on that.
I've got Facebook up to see if anyone's. I'll just see if anyone's going to say anything, and then I can.
We normally have Ant as well, who joins us.
He does know.
Loyal fans. But I will quickly check the headlines that we were going to do. Now, Bernie Ecclestone has been putting. He's been stepping in. I knew it wasn't going to be long before Bernie had to say something.
And Lewis isn't very happy with him, is he? The whole. I'm getting increasingly more fed up of the whole situation of if someone turns around and says, "Well, hold on a minute," they get attacked for being racist. And it's very possible that Bernie Ecclestone is. I mean, he's a miserable old git, isn't he? But yeah, I think it's hilarious.
No, the thing was, this is by Luke Smith, and I think we've had a few interesting. This is from Autosport, and I've had a few reports by Luke Smith, who's done a lot of stuff on Hamilton. And I have to say, this is one of the most illegible pieces of writing I've ever read. It was so difficult to read because there's a few comments here and there, but the apostrophes are missing, and lots of words have been kind of misquoted.
So he's obviously, are the Grammarly's broken?
I think it must have been. So if you're listening, you really need to get a dictionary out there and start looking at your writing, because it's really hard to read. And,
I presume he hasn't got an editor anymore because he's socially distanced, is he? Or something?
Well, they've all been fired and they're all laid off on furlough. Ecclestone had a great interview with, of course, CNN, that wonderful news channel. And he did not think that Hamilton's campaign would do anything bad or good for Formula One, and then commented that in lots of cases, black people are more racist than white people are. And I thought, oh my goodness me, he certainly raged into the whole thing. But, so of course, Hamilton has come back, and F1 immediately condemned Ecclestone's comments and revealed in his honorary role as the sports chairman expired in January of this year. And then, of course, Hamilton hit back at Ecclestone's comments, but said he could understand the lack of action to address diversity and racism through his F1 career that started in 2000.
Basically saying that because Bernie Ecclestone's racist, that's why nothing happened for years. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, it wasn't bothered. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether...
I don't think I believe that, to be fair. I don't think he was.
No, I don't think he cared. I don't think he cared either way.
Yeah.
I think he did Formula One, and that was it. In fact, in the Bernie Ecclestone years, we had more female F1 racing drivers.
Yeah.
And we've had it since.
And I kind of think when these big, like the F1 teams, all the heads, they're not putting their head, they're not getting involved in any of this, because they're seeing above it. At the end of the day, they know it's probably I'm not saying it's a fad, but it's political, and they don't want to be involved in that. They see above it because they know if they put their feet put their feet in all of that, it's going to come back and bite them. And it's not going to look good.
Yeah.
You're best not to get involved. And it's quite, and I can see where Bernie Ecclestone has a slight point. When people bear with me before you think.
Oh, you're going red.
But when you shout out, because you've seen it on the news, you've seen it on video clips on YouTube. When people say all lives matter in front of a Black Lives Matter crowd, you tend to find that they shout back saying, no, only Black Lives Matter. And that's what they say. There's plenty of clips of that. So you can understand that, well, if someone is going to react like that, then they could be seen, well, you're being racist towards white people if you're saying that only Black Lives Matter.
If your definition of racism is that you discriminate against another person because of their ethnic background, then all people are racist. Because you see in every film that's predominantly black, that black males and black females are together. You don't see mixed marriages in them, do you? Any more than you see mixed marriages in predominantly white-faced films. And I look at that and go, well, isn't that as... when you get someone, when you see people on films and television state to each other in their dialogue, why are you going out with a white guy? That's racist. That's actually racist. But in modern society, that's not seen as racist. And it's you attack by saying that. I'm sure there'll be people telling me that I am racist for saying that, because I don't cower in a corner and say that my lack of melanin makes me the perpetrator of all the evils in the world. And it doesn't, because I'm just me. I've put up with what I've put up with in life in the same way that everybody has. That's not saying that in many places all over the world, certain people, because of their ethnic backgrounds, are not picked on specifically. That isn't what anyone is saying. But it's interpreted that way. So this is why I'm sick of the whole thing. I
just hope it dies down, because it's taking away from the sport. And when you look at it, what he's really trying to say, what Hamilton's trying to say, okay, let's get some more black and ethnic drivers, which is fine. That's great. Let's they'll get there on merit if they can put a fund aside to help more people get into Formula One, do go-karting. Assumingly, go-karting is tens of thousands of pounds now. I'm all for that. Put some of this money aside, let the other drivers join in as well. Let's have a fund that helps people come forward, looks at the talent and gets people moving. I think that's a great way of doing it, and a very positive way. And then it will work, because if they're good enough, they're going to get through the titles, they're going to be up there, they're going, they'll be spotted, because people can see, as Hamilton himself was spotted very early on, that if you've got the talent and you can win these races, I mean, he was phenomenal in his go-karting races early on. And that's quite something. I hope that's my assistant hasn't got that one yet. But no, that's what they need, and then that will bring in more, just like the women in Formula One and women in motorsport.
If people are interested in doing it, they will want to do it, and then and if you can get them interested, if you can present it in a way that women and other ethnic backgrounds are interested, they'll fight to get in, and they'll, like everybody does. That's the point. It's like I said, it's the same as trying to get people into science or get people into arts or if people don't want to do it, they won't do it. If they think that it's boring, it's like you say, "Oh, do you like Shakespeare?" And they go, "Oh, that's boring. That's old stuff." I used to be like that, and then I saw some amazing films by Kenneth Branagh, Shakespeare films, and these are amazing films. And I thought, oh, it wasn't that Shakespeare was rubbish, it's that the people that did Shakespeare were rubbish at doing Shakespeare. So if you can get people to say a black lad or an Asian lad or any whatever, it's just about, if you can get them into it, they'll do it. Here's a thought, right? There's a whole continent called Africa, where people are starving and where governments are taking, dictatorships and governments and corruption is taking all the money from them, where there's no F1 tracks, there's no motorsport, excuse me, there's no interest in motorsport. Maybe start putting a few dollars into getting those countries to a place where they can have
proper
spare cash to be, and then instead of, I reckon with the population of those countries and the, and natural ability in the percentage of any given population anywhere in the world to be good drivers, I bet there'll be a lot more world champions coming from more diverse backgrounds, but they don't do that, do they? They don't. It's like when they go to Bahrain or they go to Abu Dhabi, they don't start trying to fix the social problems in those countries so that they just take the money and smile, don't they? It's the hypocrisy does my head in. Totally. It's like they're taking it's nice and easy to blame in the West everything on a certain demographic. It's an easy way out, and what's happening now is that ordinary people that aren't trying to do anything in particular, just live, are being attacked and blamed. And I disagree with you that this is just going to go away. I think this is either going to explode, not just in F1, everywhere. It's either going to explode terribly, or the world is going to learn how to stop being stupid. And I don't mean stop trying to protect people shot unjustly or murdered or killed, but to stop making out that there's a difference. The best little speeches I've seen about people that said that this is fallacy of race, the fallacy of difference. We're all driven by the same things. We all want to eat. We all want to be safe. We all want people to see us and understand us, and we all want to have friends. The world over, it doesn't matter where you're from, we've all got exactly the same drivers, regardless how much melanin you got in your skin or whether your genetics, your facial features. It's an irrelevance. They're total irrelevance. And if someone treats you well, then there's someone you'll want to know. And if someone treats you badly, there's someone that you won't like. And that, again, it's the same wherever you go in the world, is it not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. absolutely. Now, you can do screen sharing as well as me, I think, can't you? On
Yes, I
this
can,
one.
yes. Yes.
Would you like to reveal to the public, if you go onto either Motorsport or you're putting it on Google, you can show to the public the new Williams F1 livery and see what it looks like?
Oh, okay. Yes, let's give that a go. I'll type that in now, Williams.
Because I realise I've done this on Firefox, and it doesn't allow me to share the screen. You've got to do it on Chrome, because I had it already there, and of course it didn't come up.
Wouldn't let you do it. That's strange.
No, it wouldn't let me do it.
Let's have a look.
But if you do it,
well, it's not that one because it's. Oh,
they've just revealed it. Now, just while Andrew is doing that, if you're into Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is the new PlayStation game, just been released on PS4, they are going to be not only doing GT3 cars, which is what the standard game comes with, they're also launching GT4, so Group 4 cars are coming. Now, it's going to be available on PC in summertime, so not that long at all to get it on PC. But if you're on, if you want it on PS4, it will be available in the autumn.
Constantly asking stupid questions.
So that should be good, because I've been playing Assetto Corsa Competition, and it's very good, very, very hard. I've also been streaming some of my gaming straight from the PS4. I was doing one a little bit earlier today where I finished third, which wasn't too bad, and it was the first Group 3 race. There we go. Excellent.
It took me a little while because Google was deciding that I wanted to see the last 50 years of, or 40
what
years.
you've been watching.
No, just the last 50 years. I typed in Williams F1 livery and it gave me the last 50 years of pictures of not the current one.
There you go. It looks good, doesn't it? Because obviously it was Lavazza, which is.
I like the colours. I like the colours better.
Yeah, I like that.
Colours, or rockets or whatever they are. I love the blues, blacks and whites. Very nice. Yes, indeed. I like that.
What do our viewers think of that? You can let us know in the comments. And if you
Lavazza is a very nice coffee.
I got my wife a Lavazza coffee machine. She only uses it about once a year.
Well, she doesn't want it. I like it. you could do me a good deal. I'll have it for £5.
I'll ship it down on DHL for you. But no, there you are. It's a nice looking car, actually. Yeah,
isn't it? That's very nice.
I think that's pretty good going. But
now, can you imagine that? Put that with low profile tyres for 2021.
Yeah. No, that's going to be pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's pretty good.
It's like an arrowhead at the front. That's the way it's. I like that. That's very good.
Yeah.
Are we happy with that? Shall I stop sharing that one?
Of course. In less than a week's time. Yep, you can put that back if you like. In less than a week's time, it will be the start of the Formula One season. In fact, the Austrian Grand Prix will have finished, and we will know who has won the first race of 2020. It's been a long time coming, but it's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait, I have to say. Are you ready for it all, Andrew?
I'm ready for it to arrive, even with all the, because Lewis has also been complaining, there's not going to be so in the crowd. Oh, get over it. You know, he spent the whole of his racing career before Formula One racing in front of hardly anybody, because that's how F3 and F. I mean, GP2, as you followed F1, so it had big crowds, but Formula 3, Formula 4, karting was your dads and your mums and a couple of your mates, wasn't it? In wellies. It's the kind of thing I'll go and watch, but I haven't got any money and I haven't got a track close enough to do it, and that never occurred to me before. But it's just going to be the same as that. No atmosphere. Yeah. Oh, shut up. If you're in the car and you're concentrating on it, the only time it makes a difference is when something like, him or Nige or whatever, or I suppose these days Verstappen, he's somewhere where there's a sea of orange and he overtakes someone for the lead, and you hear it, so all of a sudden you can't hear it. You couldn't hear any F1 engine because all you heard was
they were incredible. Yeah.
And that starts getting the prickles on the back of your, standing up on the back of your neck. Yeah. Even on the telly, because you hear it on the telly. But he needs to sort of get over himself. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. There's a few. Obviously, there's going to be the COVID-19 regulations, so no driver parade, no. The grid's going to be very different if they're even going to have one. They've altered the way the tyres are allocated. You used to be able to ask you requested a certain number of tyres per team, and now it's set. Each team gets 2 hard tyres, 3 medium tyres, and 8 soft tyres for each.
Right,
That's
okay.
it.
That's pretty good.
That's set. Instead of you going, well, we'll have some of these, none of those, depending on what you think you need, you just get them. They've altered the timing of when the tyres have got to be on before the beginning of the race, and they've got to be off the grid. They reckon that with the restrictions on people and interaction, it's going to take twice as long to refit things like an engine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All this kind of thing is going to go on, but we'll have real racing.
Yeah, which is great.
I'm not like you. I don't find it as interesting watching electronic stuff.
Yeah,
As I said, it's a bit like cricket. It's one thing it's a bit like golf. Golf, I never played golf, but any of these things, watching it on telly is one thing, doing it something else. But real racing, that's something, I don't know, there's just something there.
Yeah, when you get the atmosphere, and I still think it's going to be pretty good because it's worked with NASCAR, it's worked with IndyCar, all of that is doing pretty well. So and it will start. I think we will start to see some crowds appear. I reckon towards the end of the year. I think they'll start maybe September, October, November, something like that. Perhaps maybe towards the end of the season, maybe they'll start having a reduced number of people, depending on what's.
None of us have a clue what's really going to happen with this COVID thing, are we? I mean, the so-called experts don't know, and the ones that have got any sense and humility, or at least have the ability to say we don't really know. We're just trying to use best guesses to keep people safe. And I think if more of them did that, we'd be in a better position, because instead of just trying to look like you know something and then doing it, that a little bit of honesty would be great. So in 3 months' time, 2 months' time, who knows what the situation will be? The world might decide, look, we can't do this forever. Let's just get on with it. And if people die, people die. They might actually go down that route. Yeah,
because the economy is going to be in, hardly anything left at this rate.
There's no point in living if you've got no way of living.
That
might sound really harsh, but if the whole world is going to be shut behind their own doors forever, it's a pointless existence. So getting out and meeting people and doing stuff and having your businesses and all that kind of stuff has to go on at some point, or what we're going to do, we'll all starve. Literally we'll all starve, because there'll be
moving again.
Someone's got to pay for the food. Someone's got to give, I've got to have money to be able to go to the shop to pay for the food for people to produce. It's that whole...
Yeah, that kind of crazy thing of all of it all. But
we've got to live. So at some point, something dramatic will have to change.
To help us move it forward and just get on with it.
To get on with life.
Hopefully, we'll start seeing crowds come at some point for the races. Of course, we're going to have 2 at Austria, and then it's Hungary, and then it's then there's there's a week in between, I think, possibly, and then it's Silverstone twice. So it will be at the end
one of those will be the anniversary, will it not?
Yes, 70 years. 70 years. Since the start of the
since the very first Formula One Alfa Romeo victory. I just like I put that in there. And 69 years since the very first lack of Alfa Romeo victory.
Yes,
because it was the Silverstone Grand Prix the year later that Ferrari won their first race, and who did they beat? They beat Alfa Romeo.
No,
because as anybody knows, the Alfa 158, 159 Alfetta won every single race it entered until Ferrari beat them in 1951. Every single, from 1946 to the 14th of July 1951. But apparently they only make funny looking Fiats.
No, I can't do a show without promoting our special competition.
Speaking of an Alfa Romeo driver.
Yes, Juan Manuel Fangio.
I was going to say Jack Douglas, but you're right.
And also Ayrton Senna. You can have this amazing tile. But first, you have to make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Send us an email to
Which channel have you got to subscribe to, Hugh?
Hugh Hattrick. You'll see it because if you look for the Car 7 Race Driver Show or Hugh Hattrick, you'll find it And even though YouTube will probably ask you about 3 times if you're sure that that's who you're looking for, make sure you choose it. And
have you spelled that wrong? Did you?
Yeah, I know. How could you possibly do that one?
Did you mean Boris Johnson?
Could be the lucky owner.
Did you mean TVAM?
No. You could be the lucky owner of that lovely wall tile there. But first, we need to hit 1,000 subscribers. But we're not too far away. Just another 954 to go. So, yeah, it's going in the right direction.
I was watching something the other day where they were talking about there's apparently the most watched thing on the planet is PewDiePie, something called PewDiePie.
Yeah.
And there's another guy, I can't remember the name of because it was boring to me, but what he did. But apparently he's really, really. Oh, hello, Ant.
Ant, yeah.
Some other fella called something. He started with like 5 people and was like that for years, and he kept trying different things like we do and expanding. Now he's got 15. Is it 15 million?
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, these guys have got vast sums. Yeah.
The point of the video was he was getting.
Yeah, you've got to stick with it.
He didn't. He wasn't trying to find success. He was just he was doing something he enjoyed, and doing it in a way that other people eventually. And he's constantly bigging up this PewDiePie. It's like he goes out of his way to like we do with Josh Martin and James Pennell and I've forgotten his name. And the other people that you.
Oh yeah, like James Rupert.
James Rupert. You know, we like James said when he came on, we support each other and we big each other up, and there's none of this. We don't need to sort of. There's no jealousy required.
Aye. No, that's the thing. But so no, it's good, isn't it? It's good. Hi, we're going in the right direction, which is the main thing. So if you're new to the channel, it'd be great if you could subscribe and you'll never miss a show, especially when you hit the notifications bell. And we also, of course, do this on a podcast. So if you listen on Podbean, then that goes out twice a week on Sunday night and also on Thursday as well. And we do the live show mainly on YouTube, but we do the odd, to be fair, we haven't done Podbean live for a few weeks, but we mainly do it on YouTube. But there's always going to be at least 2 shows a week. And usually I do an extra video and an extra podcast as well.
You do a little newsy things, don't you? Your news,
yes, I do a kind of F1
news headlines.
Yeah, which are always quite fun to do.
Which are quite good. It's nice to not have me on it for a change. It's great.
No, it's. I mean, I think it's very good when you come on the show, but I'm trying to put more technology into it as well, and see how many copyright claims I can get. And the funny thing was, I didn't get any copyright claims from F1, but I got copyright claims from BTCC. But it's not a strike; it's just a claim, so it doesn't make any difference to the channel.
That at all. So I now understand what Ant's talking about because I had to read it a couple of times, and I got it. He's looking for a man with 3 hats who does tricks. Yeah. And then I should answer by saying you.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So it's going to be the build-up. Now, as far as I know, Friday practice is the same. Saturday qualifying, is that going to be? Are they changing any of that for the Austrian Grand Prix?
I've not seen anything that they are, but I don't, as far as I know. I guess the only things that really changed are the fact that no one's allowed to watch it, including journalists. Journalists can't be in the pit lane.
That's true. Yeah, there's no more grid walk.
No more grid walk. Well, they could do a grid walk, it's just there'll be nobody on it. That'd be quite good, actually. You get Martin Brundle and David Coulthard, and they're going to be on opposite sides of the track, right? And they're walking along, and they're going, this is a grid, this is a track, I'm walking. You know, that would be quite good comedic effect, I reckon. They can even wave at each other. Not the social distancing.
They could do a grid walk via drone. That would be very exciting.
Can you imagine? Especially if you were driving it. That'd be amazing. Elbow.
But that's the thing. Now it says here, tents to replace motorhomes in Austrian GP paddock. This is all because of the COVID thing, of course. and they're now saying it's going to look very different, with tents and awnings replacing motorhomes, and team trucks are further away from the garages.
It's not going to change anything. It's still a solid surface for stuff to stick to. Oh my God, they're stupid. What are they going to do? Get the tents and wash them every day?
They're going to
big washing machine.
Yeah, the trucks are going to be further away, and then the teams will build tents and awnings at the back of the pits, which they can use as overspill space from the garage to help them with any social distancing requirements. There was a video made, and it showed how Mercedes was dealing with the challenge of the new guidelines. So it won't be the same as a normal European race, and we won't have any motorhomes. But yeah, that could be quite interesting. And yeah, I think they should do the grid walk. Simply,
I'm poking them with a stick, trying to get them thinking harder.
Yeah, I think
what is this?
The way to do it.
Scouts, skilled guides, tents in the back. What is it? Some kind of like overflow cricket pavilion.
But well, there we go.
It's pointless. Square wheels. Next, they're doing square wheels. So, I mean, really, dim.
No, that's it. That's it. But
seriously, though, how would a tent help anything?
Yeah.
How would it stop anyone getting COVID? And you know what it is?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like the idea you go to church now, but you're not allowed to sing, even if you have the PPE and the mask. You don't want you to sing.
Really?
Yeah, we got told that this morning.
Are you allowed to breathe?
You can breathe, but you're not allowed to sing. So hence we're doing everything on Zoom. But no, it's quite funny how it's all working out. So I think we need to have a bit of a competition, or at least a kind of idea as to all our viewers and listeners. Who do you think is going to win in Austria, and who do you think is going to take the title? Maybe we should have a poll. I know on Facebook for a while, or YouTube for a while, you could do a poll, and you could still can.
That F1 Formula World, they do polls all the time.
They do polls all the time. Yeah. Well, for our viewers and listeners,
you can't put it on the. They used to be able to put it underneath or something, didn't they?
Right.
Now it's got to be in the not a comment section.
Is it the description?
No. They used to be able to put it in there. Now there's like I can't think of the word for it.
Or like the subheading or something. Is it?
No, you can send not messages, but you can do text.
Oh yeah. I don't know how I can do that. To do an actual post on
and you can put it in one of those.
Right, okay. So I might try and do that then. So our big question is, who do you think is going to win the first race in Austria, and who do you think will take the title?
Posts. They're called posts. YouTube posts. So you put them in there, and I mean, I'm looking at several now on this screen. So there you go, YouTube posts. Ta-da! Who do I think is going to win the first race? Well, we'll have this conversation. I don't think you can discount Mr. Hamburgertron. I think he's going to be quite good. I think Bottas is going to be up for it because he's been talking in his usual Finnish, understated fashion of how much work he's been doing and that he's improved. And he was pretty good before, I think. So, and then Verstappen, of course, has been doing his usual stuff. I've had to knock a teenager. I'm going to beat everybody because I'm better. There's that.
If that had been a British driver, if Verstappen had been British and had been that young going into Formula One, I think what would have been the main sponsor? It would have been one of those acne companies. What was that one? Remember, there used to be that company that used to clear your spots. What was the one they used to use?
Clearasil.
Yeah, Clearasil. That would have been perfect. How to get rid of your acne when you're in Formula One, because you're only about 17.
These days, though, I suppose it would be, what are they called? The little fruit vodka things. What are they called?
Bucks Fizz.
Not Bucks Fizz, don't start that again. They're in bottles. And
I'm not sure. So I'm a teetotaler.
What are they called? Stray avocado. What are you on about?
Well, the
main one you're getting copyright strike claims.
Yeah, Duke Media. It was Duke Media that got me from BTCC. But they were fine. I mean, it was just a matter of a claim.
Avocado.
I don't know what that is. But I suppose.
Right, I'm going to have to find out what this is because it's only because my brain's jelly. I wish it was because of alcohol. It may have been because of alcohol, but not recently. Right.
Will we do another headline?
You do another headline while I'm looking at what alcohol is.
Now, Formula One, back to Eccleston again. F1 has moved to distance itself, surprise, surprise, from former Supremo Bernie Eccleston's recent comments on racism, saying they have no place in either the series or society. Eccleston, who is now 89, was at the helm of Formula One for 40 years prior to his exit in January 2017, following the takeover of the series by Liberty Media, when he received an honorary title as chairman emeritus. But of course, that stopped early on this year. Now, amid the ongoing anti-racism protests around the globe and a greater focus on equality within society, F1 has announced plans for a new campaign to improve diversity within the sport. And also, obviously, we've seen that Lewis Hamilton has launched his own commission. And in an interview, Eccleston went on to say things.
Wicked!
Well, he did. Eccleston said that while Hamilton's campaign was wonderful, well, that's not that bad. He did not think it's going to do anything bad or good for Formula One.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went on to we quoted those statements.
They totally went over the top about what he said. I mean, yeah, he didn't. He was actually quite positive about it, but you know, he said. But of course, they've got to have a villain, haven't they? You've got to have a bad guy. So he's it,
and that's what they want to make him. But
Wicked. I'm talking about Wicked, the drink, Wicked, WKD, which is what all the kids drink. So if he'd been that young, because they're all that age drinking them, apparently, if he'd been that young coming in and British, he would have been sponsored by Wicked. Thank you very much. I'll shut up. I wasn't letting that go. I needed to know what it was. Wicked. I'll be a scouser. Not 18. Chicken.
So there you have it. So F1 is trying to distance himself and trying to make Eccleston look the criminal. But you know what? Eccleston made Formula One over 40 years. So there you have it.
Funds for his wife and daughter. I've got no money. I mean, come on. He's definitely.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine, I think.
Think of Godfather films.
Well, I'll tell you what. If F1 goes bust, because they make all these mistakes and they try and be too kind of politically correct and they lose all their money and their viewership, then I know who's going to be at the door ready to buy it back. You know,
with no money because you haven't got any.
Yeah.
If you got no money, you don't have to pay tax. If you don't pay tax, anyway. I agree. He'll be right there, won't he?
Yeah.
But it's suspicious how the likes of Jean Todt and other people like that aren't saying much about it.
Yeah, they're just kind of making general
old performers. Is that the word? Old hats at this game.
Yeah, exactly.
They know what they're doing. Alco Pop.
That's the one. Yes.
Why didn't you say that 10 minutes ago?
Yeah. Now here's the thing that will get your heart pumping. Imola's circuit boss has urged Formula One to consider an Italian triple header this year as efforts continue for the venue to host a Grand Prix later this season. The Imola circuit, which has not hosted a Grand Prix since 2006, first entered the fray as a possible replacement for the Chinese Grand Prix back in February, and early this month had its Grade 1 license that is required to host an F1 event renewed. On the day that F1 cars returned to action around the Imola track, with Pierre Gasly and Daniel Kvyat conducting a filming run and tests for Alpha Tauri, Formula Imola president Uberto Silvatico Stens has made clear that his desire for a race remains strong. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I'd love to see F1 back at Imola. I think it always seems to get a lot of coverage.
They've even got a name for it, haven't they? They've even got their own special name. They can just call it the San Marino Grand Prix again if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Make it hysterical. You know, like back in hysterical times from before. You know.
Yeah.
Old.
I'm back in. Yeah, no, I mean that because it's a classic circuit. Now, similarly, Mugello in Italy is looking increasingly likely.
Mugello, will you sort yourself out?
Is it Mugello?
Mugello, yes.
All right.
G followed by an E or an I.
Is it in Italian? Is it? Oh well.
Yes.
Mugello
in Italy. Yes, it's
Mugello in Italy.
Okay. Just come here a minute. I want to slap you.
No,
it's in Canada.
That'll be one for the deliberate outtakes.
Don't take it out. Yeah, what you need to do now is look at the camera and say, we'll edit that out. And then, of course, we don't.
I never bother. I never bother with that. You know.
Oh, no.
Now there we are. So I mean, that would be amazing if you could get an Italian Grand Prix at Imola. That would be brilliant.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Triple header. That would be super.
We've got so many rubbish circuits now that they keep going to. Yeah, they need to. I mean, they could go to India. Well, I don't think we ever got a good Indian race, but we never really gave it a chance, did we?
Yeah, I liked the Indian Grand Prix. It was a really
it was like they went there, and then Bernie was too busy trying to suck as much money out of everything as he possibly could, that he didn't seem to understand that even though India looks really, really poor, there's a shed load of money there. Yeah. Not just over a million people. Yeah.
No, I like the Indian Grand Prix circuit, and it's still there, ready to go. And I like the one in South Korea. The South Korean track was had some great races there, really good.
Oh yes,
yeah. That was a great track.
I tell you what, food in South Korea, wow, they really like beef. They're big meat eaters there. Yeah, I want to go there. I want to go there and try their incredibly spicy beef things. I've had several. When I used to work in at university, I used to know a number of South Korean people, and food-wise, wow, yum.
It's pretty good going, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Well, on that note, it's going to be a slightly shorter show tonight.
Is it?
As we go in for the.
We go in.
But don't go yet, because I will speak to you in a minute. Speak to you in a minute. But yes, we're going to put this out as a podcast.
Well, see, what I was going to say before we go further, you mentioned last time, because you asked who's going to win that first race, and you did mention Mr. Vettel.
Yes.
Going potentially throwing caution to the wind and going for it, and so you can't discount the Ferraris, either one of those. So I think what I would really like to see, is oh no, he's still going to be in Renault, isn't he? Oh no, I don't want to see that at all. I was going to say I want Ricciardo to win, but he's going to be in a Renault, so I don't.
It might not be that bad. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, but they were better in testing. The field was a lot closer than before. I mean, Williams was well up. And quite a few of them were well up. So I think, it's going to be, it could be closer than.
Oh, Patrick Head's waded in. Patrick Head stuck his boots in. What crap is that? I was watching the YouTube video about it, and he was, what was the phrase it used? Basically, he said he didn't mince any words. And I'm like, have you never, ever, whoever you are, ever seen Patrick Head speak ever before? I've never seen Patrick Head do anything other than speak his mind, and very, very, very forcefully. I love the guy. He's the most bombastic, straight-talking human being I think I've ever seen him in life. Boy, he reminds me of Melchett off of Blackadder, but with sense and not insane, what should he? I tell you what, John would have liked it, because what he said is that it's weak technical leadership.
Oh, well.
He didn't say weak leadership. He wasn't. They tried to make out that he was saying that he was having a go at Claire. That's how they tried to make it out in the headline. But when you actually heard what he actually said, what he said is the technical leadership, which has been Fry, is it?
Pat Fry. Was it Pat Fry? Yeah.
Awful. And it was, because in that Drive to Survive, on the Williams one that John said that Claire was wet in, he was making, the technical director was making excuse after excuse after excuse. I mean, seriously, it was frightening, it needs good technical leadership, and it needs a proper direction. Whether that's Claire's fault or not, I couldn't possibly say, because I'm not there. I don't know her. But I thought Patrick, yes, he should be a commentator.
You have to come out of retirement.
Oh,
and there we go.
Right, you lot, come here now.
Yeah, you imagine you wouldn't get anything past him. Certainly, that would be that. He's a bit like Claude from The Apprentice. that you won't get anything past
Yes,
7.
yes.
That's the kind of person you need in that Formula 1
And
team.
it goes just as red.
Yes. No,
You
that's
know.
the thing. Well,
Yeah.
on that note, it's funny, as I said, we were about to finish the show. We got more viewers, so I thought we better keep it going. But it was the thing.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we got that in because
No, that was a good point. We'll be back on Thursday.
I think that actual Formula 1 is much better.
Yeah, we'll be back on Thursday for our live show at 9 o'clock. And hopefully will also be a midweek podcast and a midweek video as well on F1 news and other things I can bring in about motorsport and things like that. But thank you to everyone for listening and for watching. To Ant and all our regular and loyal viewers and listeners, it's great to have you with us. And we look forward to seeing you again on Thursday. And I'll leave it to Andrew to finish off.
Drive fast, but try not to crash into the back of anybody on the first lap and punt them off and get a black flag like some people may or may not have done on Thursday.
Quite possibly.
Or crash.
There we are. Bye just now.
Bye.